How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? This is Mike Starr and welcome to another video. Now in today's video I'll be talking about one of my favorite, probably the best thriller movies of all time. Now this is a rare gem. This is a lesser known Nicolas Cage movie. This movie needs no introduction, and that movie is 8mm. What a great movie. A Joel Schumacher film, Nicolas Cage, Joaquin Phoenix. You know, it stars the good old James Gandolfini. May he rest in peace, superb actor. And yeah, so we're talking about this movie. Yep, 8mm. Now, it's a rated R film. I remember growing up, I would see the cover, and I always wanted to watch it. And I don't know why. As a kid, I always wanted to watch R-rated movies. You see them and they're forbidden, but you still want to watch them. Anyways, it wasn't until I got older when I watched it again and again, and I started to appreciate what the film was about. Now, what the film's about is this detective named Tom Wells. He gets called to this rich lady's mansion. She becomes a widow because her husband, some rich guy, passes away, and and they get into his private safe that no one's allowed to get into except for this old guy who passes away, just so she can get his belongings. And whilst going through the belongings in the private safe, they find this old 8mm film reel. And she watches it, and it's one of those mythological snuff films where they rape a woman and they kill her just for the enjoyment of some sadistic person. So this woman thinks it's fake, this old lady, the widow. So that's why she calls the detective Tom Wells, who's Nicolas Cage, to the mansion, and she talks to him and says, I want to find out if this film is real or not, because I don't believe my husband would own something like this. I don't believe he'd be involved in something like this. So Nicolas Cage says, all right, I'll do it, but I'm only going to be talking to you, just me and you, no one else. So but he says, I'll need I need X amount of dollars to crack the case, because as you know, it's not cheap to get questions and answers, whatever. So she's like, all right, I'll do it. I'll give you this much money, and then I'll give you this much. I'll give you whatever you need, or I just find out if the poor girl was really murdered on this tape. So anyways, Nicolas Cage recently has a baby with his wife, who's played by Kathleen Keener. Yep. And he has to go and investigate this. So Nicolas Cage ends up looking through all these files, checking if this girl is real, to see if she's still alive, just to see who she is and see where she's at. So he's going through all these files, checking if the girl's missing, checking if she's alive or dead. Eventually he finds the residence of her residence, and he finds the girl from going through the computer files, the police files, thousands of files, hours and hours of relentless hunting. Anyways, eventually goes to the girl's mother's house. After going to the girl's mother's house, the girl's mother, the girl would have to be around 17, 18. The mother says that she ran away like a year or two prior to 2 years ago, prior to Nicolas Cage coming there. And eventually Nicolas Cage says, okay, I've got a lead, all right. I don't want to give you hope, because the mother's been looking for a daughter for so many years, and it might have been more than 2 years, it might have been 10 years, I forget how long it was. But anyways, Nicolas Cage says, all right, don't want to give you hope, but I may find her, whatever. And this girl's mother's really lonely. She wants Nicolas Cage to stay over for dinner, but Nicolas Cage can't. So then he goes into the underground Hollywood scene, the underground pornography Hollywood scene, where he comes face to face with a lot of seedy, a lot of shady, just a lot of, perverted people, and from there it gets even deeper and becomes friends with Joaquin Phoenix, whose name is Max California in the movie. And they go, just looking through different pornography tapes, looking for other snuff films, looking for other rape tapes, whatever, Eventually, there is a crack in the case. The person who was on the original 8mm of the tape that he had from this old lady had this tattoo of a pentagram, and Nicolas Cage finds it in another movie by a guy named Dino Velvet. Same tattoo, guy with the mask as well. So there's a connection here. Then he has to hunt down this person, and then he goes to James Gandolfini's character, and then he's going all over the place, almost getting killed. He's dealing with a lot of crazy people. It's just an amazing film. But what I will point out, why this film is probably one of my top thriller movies of all time, would have to be because of the set design. You should see this. It looks so real. Everything looks so real. The way they shot it, the way the scenes, like the shops, the grittiness, the grain, the film grain, everything about it. This film only got rated like 12-13% on Rotten Tomatoes, but to me, this is such an underrated movie. If you have not seen a great thriller, crime drama movie, I definitely recommend to go and watch this one. I don't want to say how the whole movie unfolds without spoiling it, but that's it for this video. Stay tuned. New videos every day or every second day. And that's it. I'm Mike Starr. Wherever you are in the world, have a great day. And for me, I'm out of here, everyone. I'm going to have a cup of tea. Good night.